Hello? Can you hear me? It's not buffering well, is it? Okay, is this working? If it is, please let me know. I'm so sorry about the delay. It's it's an awkward beast. How are we doing? Can you hear me? Can you see my hand move? Is the sound okay? Yes! Yes! Woo! Oh, it's still buffering a lot though, isn't it? How's the video? How's the visuals? Is it still like having problem buffering at your end? Oh, hang on. I can turn my mic volume up, but I'm just going to warn you to turn your sound down first then. Okay? I'm turning up the mic volume now. How about now? Oh, that's a bit loud, isn't it? How about now? Is that good? Or do you want it more up? More up? What am I talking about? That's fine? Okay. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna do this. I'm sorry if there is a lot of technical difficulty. It's my first time live. It's a miracle that has been made possible by Eve that I'm even on here. Because, wow, I didn't know a lot about live streaming until yesterday. Anyway, hello, how are you? My name is Kano if you don't know me. Thank you so much for being here. So what I have planned, if all video technical difficulties kind of solve itself, is to play with some paintings. And basically what's happened is, like, about 6 weeks ago I painted a really good painting that was massive. It was like 70 by 50 centimeters and I really love it. I have it framed in my hallway. But once I did that, I got really intimidated to paint like anything else because the painting went so well. And that, plus spending a lot of my time creating the Daniel Smith Color Showdown video, has taken up a lot of my time. So I haven't really been painting for myself for about 6 weeks. And when you don't paint for yourself in a really long time, then start painting again can be really intimidating. So one of the things I do to ease me back into the painting is to do like mini paintings. So these cards I made from the scrap pieces of paper that get produced when I make the the template that I use for my Daniel Smith Color Showdown. And I just, it's a 14 centimeter wide, thick, high, long strip, and I just cut it into square, and then I just tape it with a masking tape. Is there a lot of buffering? Oh no. Okay, I can see if I can change the bit rate. Hold on. Maybe 700. Okay, how's that for buffering? Sorry, the internet here is horrendous. What's happened is, within the centre of Edinburgh, we never got fibre internet. Outside of Edinburgh city centre, they all have really fast internet. We don't, for some reason. That is a really good idea. Thank you, Zoe. I will do that because I have a lot of tabs opened. Okay, I closed all but the YouTube tabs that I need to have open. Is that better? Less interruptions, but still some interruptions? Right, because since there are some of you from the UK on this chat, please let me know how your internet speed is, whether you have fiber or not. A lot better? Okay, I'm gonna carry on. If there seems to be a problem, then let me know and I'll fiddle with more settings for you. So then, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. As I was saying, what I do to get back into it is make these mini paintings, and what I thought would be fun today was to do these mini paintings live for you guys. So I've made a huge stack of these squares this morning. Obviously we're not going to get through all of these, but what I thought with the Daniel Smith Color Showdown, we started using the salt, and that really creates some interesting patterns. Like this is quinacridone magenta with salt. This is quin pink and quin coral. I think that's perylene violet. No, perylene maroon. Close. This is perylene maroon, perylene scarlet, and perylene red. Soda Light Genuine, I think. Yep. Mayan Deep Blue. Perylene maroon, perylene scarlet, and perylene red. And then Mayan Deep Blue again. Thank you. I'm really glad you guys like it. This is Queen Purple. This is the first time I used Queen Purple yesterday, and I think it's a stunning color. This is Perylene Green. This is Queen Magenta, and then this was a mix of all the Mayan colors. I just kind of lost it towards the end and I made a mess. So I do these little paintings, and also these paintings are available as a Patreon reward. So if you sign up for the $15 a month, you get like one brand new original, not print, actual original painting in your post every month. If you sign up for the $10 tier, then you will get one of these on your first month as a thank you for joining the $10 tier. Do I have any intention to frame some of your mini paintings together to make a big painting? I think that would look really cool, actually. Yeah. I think if I could plan and theme the paintings together a bit better than haphazard, I think that would be really cool. So I want to do some more paintings, but I also want you guys to suggest what colors you want me to paint, like the next painting. So, and we'll just take a quick vote on what colors to paint next. And then because these paintings won't dry enough in time by the end of the stream for me to like peel and reveal kind of thing, I have got a stack of other ones that I haven't removed the salt or the tape, so we can have a little reveal of these as well. And I can show you a good tip on how to actually get all the salt off your painting, because you know when you try to rub it off with your fingers, they don't really come off that well. So there's that as well. How are we doing? Are we happy with that plan? Phthalo green. Yeah, I struggle with phthalo green as well, Zoe. It's phthalo green, blue shade or yellow shade. I'm like, this is not I like the more deeper or the muted ones. But I think they're supposed to be really good for mixing. So, right, first painting. What color? What is Bordeaux? What is this? What is this new paint I don't know about? Tell me. By the way, I might have to, like, because I'm still got this awful cough, I might have to go away. I made a little sign for when I have to go away for a coughing break. And I might just have to, like, run out of the room, go cough, and come back and carry on talking to you guys. Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, the board Otto. Okay, yeah, okay. It is the really, really nice PV19, I think, color that Dan has made, and he showed it to us yesterday in his live stream. Right, somebody said Queen Gold. Yeah, I can do Queen Gold. I have my palette. Have you seen it? No, you guys haven't seen this new one. This is the same palette, but I've moved a few things around and I've added a few colors, and so yeah, this is my traditional, like my first go-to palette. I have that. I also have, I should have done this first actually. I also have these. Don't know if you can see it. So I have all of Sennelier, all of Holbein, and some Daniel Smith. So we can pick whatever color we like from that. Hello everyone. I can't believe there's 28 of you guys here, by the way. Like, I genuinely thought I couldn't sleep last night because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go live stream tomorrow and there's only gonna be Eve there. And well, I knew Eve was gonna be there because she's my mod. But thank you guys so much for being here because wow, I genuinely didn't think 28 of you guys will be here. So thank you. Yes, that is a lot of palette. Yes, I have Cascade Green. I have... Oh, I don't have Madder Purple. Okay, I'm going to start with the Queen Gold. I'm just going to wet my palette. Pro tip. Has spray bottle. What do we call this? My brain's gone dead. Spray bottle. Water spraying bottle. I used to use a cheap, like a domestic one. Then I found this on Amazon. It is a hairdresser's micro mister, and it produces a much finer mist. So if you have to spray over a painting but you don't want to disturb the painting too much, this is so much better because it's smaller particles of water, and therefore it doesn't really, like when you use your traditional hold on, like this kind of bottle. I know I used to use this for my acrylic painting. That's why it's so covered in paint. You get big jets of water, and even when it's a spray, it's quite big globs, and then you can see the globs landing on the paper. Whereas with this, you don't have that as much. Just gonna wet my palette. Okay, Queen Gold, yeah? Oh, yeah, sorry, thank you. Let me move it here. How are we looking? Is that good? Okay, so I'm gonna not remember every color, so I'm gonna have to, like, you're gonna have to shout out colors every time I paint. Every time I pull out a new piece of paper. I am going to be mostly painting with the Escoda Ultima. I've got the size 10 and 12. I'm finding these really good for doing abstracts with. So I will start with the size 10. Oh, yeah, I can zoom in. Thank you for suggesting zooming in. I'm also just going to take the brightness down a notch so you can, guys, don't get blinded. Is that okay? Hi, oh my god, there's 32 of you. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to start painting. Queen Gold. The problem I foresee with Queen Gold is that you don't get that deeper depth of color, but we'll see. So one of the things I do when I'm painting abstract is not look at the paper that I'm painting, so I don't see the brush strokes on myself, and then just be really rough on the paper, on the brush. So please don't like freak out when you see how rough I am on these brushes. It just creates more live marks. So I'm not actually looking at the paper as I do this. I'm gonna rinse the paint out my brush so that I can get varying shades of color. Still not looking. I'm looking at a red car that is parked outside my window. And then get a big glob of concentrated paint. I am now looking at the paper. I'm just playing around. One of the tricks I learned from a course, I think it was Peter Jackson, who's a watercolor artist. He said, when you're painting, trying to get either 3 dark corners and 1 light corner, or 1 dark corner and 3 light corners. So that's what I try to do at the moment. $80 for a 15 milliliter tube of the original Queen Gold. That is intense. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, once I get to this stage, I'm trying to pick which corner to either make it bright, or which corner to make it the odd one out. And I'm thinking I'm liking these, but I'm also liking these. This kind of has to be the dark corner at least, because that is pretty dark and pretty close to that corner. So I'm gonna add a bit more around here. And basically what that trick seemed to do is create movement within your piece. Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit and put some transparent red oxide in, because I'm going to struggle with creating contrast with just the Queen Gold. And then sometimes I flick the paint. If you have a question, could you put question in the word question in capital letters, and then the question in just normal writing, so I can see it better, please? And then you want to tilt your paper as often as you can to get more movements. Thank you, Eve. Yeah, just like how Eve typed. So what do you guys think about abstract? Do you guys like abstract? It's a niche thing, really. And then I am going to pour some salt. In places. I've noticed that some colors the salt works really well, and other colors it just doesn't do anything. Oh, am I off camera? Sorry, hang on. Okay, you know what? I am gonna put a masking tape here to remind me not to go any lower than that. Thank you. I'm just gonna mute the mic while I pull the masking tape. Thank you for that advice, Eve. When is it best to add salt? When you want to. The behavior of the paints around salt is so bizarre. So some will react only when you put it in like quite wet, and others you kind of only react if they're almost dry. But they're so unpredictable that there's no hard and fast rule unless you really study a particular color and its behavior and get to know it really well with salt. It's quite hard to say, you know, oh yeah, this timing will work for any of the colors really. I'm just taking Lay's advice from, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, my brain's gone dead. Eve, what's Lay's channel? Could you put a link up for me, please? I'm so sorry, Lay, if you're watching this. My brain's just gone blank. But basically, she did a video on using salt, and I never thought of this until I saw her video of putting the salt on and then going back in and add a second layer. I was like, ah, never thought of that. And what it does is it just gives you the ability to darken up some of the colors. Okay, so I think we're done for this piece, maybe? I don't know. This bit looks bare, doesn't it? What can I do? What can I do? Well, I have a rigger brush. Maybe I could draw some lines. A link to Lay's channel. Hi, Lana. Question, is this just table salt or sea salt or rock salt, please? It's table salt. With the Daniel Smith Color Showdown, I did... That's better. I did try both table salt and sea salt. That was like big chunks of crystals. And I found that the table salt got much better result and you have finer control than the sea salt did. So I'm just using the table salt for now. But if you go back and look at the later episodes of my Daniel Smith Color Showdown, where I do use the salt, you can see the comparison between the table salt and sea salt, because I always do one side of the swatch with table salt and the other side with table salt. Okay, so I think that's done. I am just going to label what color this was. Okay, next color. Suggestions. Yes, that's the person. And I know her name is French, and so I'm not going to butcher her surname by pronouncing it in my very weird English accent. because that would just insult her on top of not being able to remember her channel name. I'm really sorry, Lay. Is it struggling with buffering again? I'm gonna lower the bitrate again, if it lets me. Thank you, Eve. Ian Jackson says, permanent magenta. Will Queen Magenta do? Don't know. Hang on. Let me see if I do have a permanent magenta. What brand would permanent magenta be? By the way, this is my swatch chart, and it is literally the most useful thing I have in my studio. I am constantly looking into this. I haven't tried using rice instead of salt. Is that like ground up rice? That's fascinating. I'm gonna see if Snelia has. There's Queen Magenta. Okay, purple Queen Magenta is okay? Okay, awesome. We have Queen Magenta. Somewhere I have Queen colors. So this is my Queen color palette, and I've just listed all the Quins that Daniel Smith has, which is ridiculously numerous, which is why I did my last episode where I compared the Queen Pink, the Queen Rose, and the Queen Magenta together, because I mean, from here to about here it looks exactly the same unless you actually really test it out. So Queen Magenta. Have you ever tried to mix a little bit of bleach into the water and make a wash with it before applying the paint? I heard it creates nice effect. Yes, I've heard that. One problem, bleach gives me migraines. So unfortunately, I love the effect that bleach has on paintings, but I just can't do it for myself. I tried once and promptly got a migraine. And when I get a migraine, I get really bad migraine. So what I try to remember to do when I'm creating these abstracts is to have like a light wash like now, and then I'll go in with a heavier wash and just trying to get different concentration of color so there's more contrast. Oh no. Okay, I've lowered my bitrate to 500. Thank you for letting me know, Eve. How is it now? am still here. Come on, internet, you can do this. How are we doing? Nope, that's not good. Are we good? How are we doing? Is it better? Okay, because I can't actually see myself on my screen. Is it back? Okay, I can't see myself, so please let me know if there's any problem. But I will carry on until you guys tell me otherwise. Okay. Whew, these technology things. So I think I'm gonna make this corner dark. And sometimes I change the way I hold the brush. I don't always hold it just like that. Sometimes I hold it like that to have less control. And I really focus on letting go of as much control as I can when I'm painting, particularly like abstracts, but like a lot of the time, partly because it takes the pressure off me in like having to get it right all the time, whatever's, and also I find that the lines I create are much more alive if I don't have anything to do with it. Like there are lines that I can create by controlling it, and then there are lines that nature will create by itself. And I have a personal preference for the ones that nature will create by itself, and I just create opportunities for those marks to happen rather than trying to control it. I'm gonna get a tissue and put some texture in as well. Do I sometimes use my non-dominant hand? Honestly, no. I know it's like something that is supposed to be good, but I just feel so uncomfortable using my left that I have worked more on losing control with my dominant hand. It's just a resistance thing for me in terms of the left. I really should try it, but I have issues that about it that I need to work through first for some reason. I find that with art and creating art, like 30% of the battle or the job where you really have to be present for is the creating art, and then 70% of the job where you have to be really present for is working on the emotional side with the resistance and just constantly noticing it when it comes up and then trying to do something to battle the resistance. Do, like, do you guys find that? Sometimes if I'm not liking what's happening, I do rotate it to see what else can be done. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm gonna go for 3 dark corners. So I'm just gonna plonk, plonk, and then leave that corner lighter. It's really strange. Eve says I'm awful at putting emotional me in my art. And I know she's mentioned that to me before, and I feel like I don't. I'm not trying to put my emotional side into this. I'm just playing and being a vessel for mark making to happen, for the natural things that paint wants to do. Because, you know, Will became watercolor artist because watercolor paints in particular do some really amazing things. And I just want to be a vessel for that rather than, I don't know, trying to put myself in there or be emotional in my art or anything like that. Does that make sense? Resistance is futile, Ian Jackson says. Isn't that true? It is futile, but it's really hard for it to not crop up. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm much... Oh, hang on. I've missed a bit of the corner. So I'm not on purposely putting my emotional me into my paintings, but I also do recognize that a lot of people see emotions in my paintings. Right, I think that's done. I'm just gonna put some salt on. Eve says, I think it's the good thing about abstract art. It lets you be more spontaneous and more free, whereas illustration is more of a rational, controlled process. I entirely agree with you. I really admire illustrators because you guys have so much control and so much detail, but I just can't plan it that way. Like my brain gets into this jumble of mess, emotional mess, once I start trying to control what's gonna happen on the page, like with an intention of I'm gonna draw this scene with that and that. Then for me personally, it becomes about correction, like constantly correcting, getting things wrong. And then for me, that is not a headspace that invokes creativity in me, that just kind of wears me down. Which is why I became an abstract artist in the end, was because it was my emotionally healthy art form that I could do. Was because with abstract, you just create lots and lots of opportunities and then see what happens. So that is actually already reacting to the salt quite nicely. So that's the quinacridone magenta. Right, next painting. Now, I remember somebody said turquoise, quinacridone turquoise. Ooh, Janie says they received some paints from Ame at Eventually Everything Mixes. One is a queen magenta, and they're gorgeous and re-wet so easily. I bet I really want to get her paints when it comes out on sale next. Phthalo turquoise. Okay, yep, phthalo turquoise. There's plenty of phthalo turquoise here. How's the buffering, by the way? Because I really can't see anything on my screen. It's funny, people say they're not it's it's strange to me that people perceive abstract art as somehow being braver than other kinds of art. And I hear people quite often go, "Oh, I'm not brave enough to do abstract art." And as an abstract artist, I find that really curious, because to me, like, having an intention and going through that journey of doing something and constantly correcting so that you get the result that you're wanting is way more brave than, I mean, I'm just right now flicking brush. Wow, see, you can get it on my hand and everything. It's So it's really interesting how artists of different styles um, kind of see each other, other art forms. Yeah, that color, phthalo turquoise, is an amazing color. I'm just gonna have some water. Heather says, I use abstracts to loosen up. It makes my landscapes better. That is really, really awesome. Do you do anything in particular, like an exercise, or do you do just like this? Do you have any tips? Because we all like tips here. This phthalo turquoise is Daniel Smith, and I prefer Daniel Smith's to. I've tried Holbein's, I've tried Winsor Newton's, I've tried Schmincke's, I've tried Sennelier's, and hang on, is there a phthalo turquoise for Sennelier? And this is the one I like the most. Heather says, just mess about like you. Yeah, it's just messing about. Yeah, there's not a lot else to it, really. Camilla says, I think it's brave for the sense of letting go of control, and because, at least for me, abstract seems to be more affected by emotions. That's really interesting, because any emotions you are seeing in an abstract work is happening within you, as in the viewer, right? Not the artist. I mean, some artists might, very intentionally put emotions in, but for me, any emotions that you feel in seeing my artwork will be whatever's going on inside you, which is the other reason why I really love doing abstract art, is I get to learn a lot about the viewer when they talk to me and tell me what they see and stuff. Because they'll be like, oh, I see this, and guaranteed always when people see something, particularly in my Fluid Serendipity series, which was like my first big series, and you can see it on my website at autocano.com. It was in acrylic and it was completely abstract, but people saw so many things in them. And what I found was that whatever they see is like the most precious memory in their like psyche. So if they see like a particular sea or beach scene in a particular place, it will usually turn out that it is like one of their fondest memory from their childhood by a sea kind of thing. So it's very, very revealing about you guys. Mawina says, we once had an abstract work to do. It was a long and deliberate process with mood boards and sketches, nothing fast or emotional. Yeah, I think that is another way of doing it, is where you can do abstracts that are very intentional as well. No, that's the wrong color. I just put Hooker's green. It's my rigger. I'm just gonna run it through. Yeah, that is one way of creating abstract art as well. It's just not my way, just because I'm no good at being intentional. That is a whole different ball game that I'm not very good at doing myself. So what I'm doing now is just putting some clean water on my brush, wiping it a little bit, and then just running it through. And what that will do is just create some lighter lines through the puddle of dark paints. Ian Jackson asked, any thoughts on using Terra Vert? It's such a weak pigment color. I agree with you. I just got... Do you want me to do a painting with that? Because I just got... How's that, everyone? It's granulating already. I just got Terra Vert and I painted it and I went, what on earth is this? It is such a weak pigment. And you know me, I'm like really, really strong colors, bright colors. Let me see if I can find... Is it in the random colors palette? Yes, I found it. That's Terra Vert. And yes, Paola, exactly. It is an ink blot test. It is like a more colorful, more textured version of an ink blot test. And it's really, really fascinating when I do show my paintings at like an exhibition or something, and everyone loves to tell you, what they see, and I love hearing about it, because I'm like, I'm learning a lot about you. Eve says you can try mixing Terra Vert into a non-granulating color to get a surprising effect out of it. Do you have any suggestions on what color I should mix it? Because I'll do that for this painting, if you like. Janie says my favorite thing to do is do some loose washes, mixing colors, splashing water and salt, and finding my subject when it dries. That's exactly how I did the Fluid Serendipity series. So I would paint half imperial sheets, so they're like quite big, and I would just paint like 14 sheets at a time, and then afterwards I would go around those sheets with mounts and see if I could find a good painting. Transparent red oxide. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I love my transparent red oxide. So this is terre verte, and it is ridiculously like light. I'm gonna mix on the page, which is another way to add interesting texture, is to mix your colors not on the palette thoroughly, but just bang it on the paper and see what happens. How are we all doing today? Now that I've ranted and rabbited on about abstract art. What plans do you have? I will post like once these dry and I peel everything off, I will post them onto my Instagram. Terre verte is so pale. Is Schmincke's Terre verte PG23 as well, or a mix? I can check for you straight away. Schminke, right? Schminke is... So Green Earth, right? Is this. It's very pale as well. It's PBR7 and PG7. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but Burnt Sienna and Phthalo Green? Yay! I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting there with my pigment codes. So, the Daniel Smith one is darker than Schmincke's one, as you can see. A lot darker, actually. What is the point of a color that pale? Thank you for typing it out, guys. Yeah, it has zero reason to be that weak. I have no idea why it's that weak at all. Am I in camera? So how do we feel about this? Well, it's a lot better than the Terre verte on its own, for sure. Ian Jackson says it's meant to be used as a light neutral. I'm going to put salt on. Although, to be fair, the two paints are doing its own thing already. It's quite interesting. Thank you, Zoe, for being here. Thank you. See you soon. Would it be stronger straight out the tube? I can. I'll go and get the tube. Hold on. This is the tube. And I'll just pour some out. Get them on my finger. I'll just swatch it for you. Okay, I think I'm going to be okay. Sorry about that, guys. The cough sometimes sneaks up on me, and it's not nice. I'm just very grateful for the mute button. I'm eating a cough sweets to hope that the sweet will help me not cough as much. So please excuse me that I have a candy in my mouth, and I hope it's not too annoying for you. So this is Terravert out straight out the tube. Not really, not that much. It's still I mean, I just put a lot of the Terravert paint on there, and it's still pretty, yeah, it is just that weak a color, I think. Oh, thank you guys. Yes, I will try to get better. I am getting much better. I mean, the fact that I can do a live stream for you guys is a marked improvement on how I was even just last week. So, yeah, I'm getting there. Thank you. Okay, next. What would you like me to paint next? Thank you everyone for being so kind about my cough. I have a Japanese cough sweet. It's amazing stuff. My mum sends me these from Japan. And it's called Kaigen Nodoame. And it's just like this old it's just this old powdered herbal medication, and then they made it into a candy so that it's easier to consume, because I remember as a child I used to have to swallow the powder and it was awful. Cascade green, yep, sure. Do I have cascade green out? Yes, I do. It's right here. Cascade green is fascinating as a color. The candy is this mixture of this herbal thing. Just a herby, like a Ricola if you guys ever had it. Um, but because I've had it since I was a child, it's quite a familiar taste for me. If you have missed the episode of the Daniel Smith Color Showdown, I do go into details of testing out this Cascade Green with, I think it was Undersea Green. Correct me if I'm wrong of my own shows. So if you want to find out more about Cascade Green and how it mixes with other colors and stuff, then you can check out my videos on my channel and watch that video. Oh, hey Dan! Natto, yay or no? Okay, for me, yeah, because I grew up with it, and my uncle works for a soybean company that makes tofu and natto, and so we had natto like everywhere and tofu wherever we were. And so I grew up with it. I can handle it. I really like it. However, if you haven't been born into it and you're not used to it, do not try. And when you go to Japan, if you get the opportunity to go to Japan, Japanese people will try to get you to eat it. I will guarantee you they will try to get you to eat it because they know foreigners really struggle with that. And my husband can't handle it. He bless him, he gave it such a good go. Like I think he actually did it twice, which I think is incredibly brave. And for those of you who don't know what natto is, it's fermented soybeans. And it's brown and it basically looks like a whole bunch of little, like, I'm really sorry to be vulgar, but hamster poops. And that are quite stringy and sticky. And it's worse than I can describe it even after that description. And he did very bravely give it a go, and but we now have an understanding in our marriage that he won't kiss me until I have brushed my teeth, which is totally fair enough. It just smells a lot, and apparently to him it tastes even worse than it smells. Yes, yeah. Natto is like salmiakki. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation, and I've really wanted to try that, Cyan. Yeah, I am trying to really not sell it so you guys know how bad it's gonna be, so you guys can avoid it. And when they offer it to you, they're just doing it to see if, you know, your reaction. They're not trying to be mean, it's just something that they do. Oh, I'm really liking this. No, okay. Paolo says that some cheese are just like that, and then you taste them and they are awesome. I agree. I love cheese. Can't have them right now, but natto isn't at all, really. It's just apparently awful if you're not used to it. But I guess a lot of fermented food are like that if you're not used to it. Janie says, my husband won't kiss me after I've eaten Marmite. Funny story with Marmite. I am incredibly allergic to Marmite. I really like the taste actually, and I wish I could eat it, but my body has other ideas. And it was my first migraine trigger thing I discovered when I was a kid. I didn't even know what a migraine was, and yeah, really, really bad. One of my worst triggers for migraine, like guaranteed. It's not even like, maybe I would get it. No, no, there is no getting away. with that at all. So right now I'm trying to develop this corner to be dark, but without losing all this lovely texture that we've already got going on. This is just Cascade Green, Janie. But because Cascade Green is made with, I can't remember off the top of my head the pigments, but it's a blend. And weirdly, for some reason, in particular with Cascade Green, it creates this huge separation. And the more water you add, the more separation you get, which is why I'm trying to use a lot of water and leave a lot of space for this separation to come through for this paint. Thank you. Bye, Heather. Thank you for being here. Is this an Ultimo brush? Oh, yes, it is. Does the other brushes get any look in nowadays? No. It's just the Ultimos and my poor other brushes, which I have a lot of. Do you want to see how many of the other brushes I have? I can look up the code for you. Cascade Green is PBR7 and PB15. Is that in focus? Yeah, so you are right, Eve, because she is the master of all paint pigments. Her and Denise and Dan know so much more. So I'm just trying to create more contrast, and the easiest way to do that is just throw in lots of darks, but I also don't want to lose all the details and all these lovely blues, so yeah, Ultimos are the best. Totally the best. They are really affordable. They're actually cheaper than my Proline Plus brushes, which is great because I am so tough on my brushes. Am I a UK member of the SAA? I don't think I am. I tried shopping with them once and they just drove me nuts. So I'm just gonna check my oh, I can't. I'm kind of wanting to leave this without the salt because I have a feeling Cascade Green looks pretty bad with salt. I might be wrong, but I don't want to mess this up either. So yeah, I think I'll leave it. I think I'll leave it there. We'll see. We'll see how it is once we peeled it. Oh, Marina is sitting in the garden watching Otto and eating dinner. Oh, that sounds really nice. Okay, one more painting. I'll do one more and then we'll do the peeling and revealing of the old pile so you can see what it's like. What color? By the way, the Queen Magenta is doing some awesome things. And when you do abstract work, don't freak out that it doesn't look that great until you peel the tape off or you put it in a mount. because weird thing with abstract in particular is once you mount it or once you have a nice clean border, it looks completely different. And so don't freak out until you actually do the peeling. Some orange do we have to? Oh no! I don't like orange. I'm sorry, Paolo. Literally, I don't have good oranges. Purely because I don't like oranges, so I don't buy them. Um, I do have queen coral though. Is that okay? Oh my goodness. Okay, that's that emoticon of Paolo being sad looks so sad. Okay, you guys. Okay, I will do queen coral. Queen coral, and I'm gonna throw in some queen pink because that was beautiful the last time I did it. Let's see if I can find that painting. Where did it go? Oh, here. So this was queen coral and queen pink. Is that too pink for you, Paolo? I can do queen coral with a more pink, more yellowy color. Um, 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 um. Queen coral and queen gold. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let's try it. So this is queen coral, and I'm just rubbing it around. Do you see what I mean by I'm really rough on my brushes? They end up like this, and the reason why I'm rough and really push it down is because it creates lots of movements on the paper. And then I'm gonna grab the queen gold. Ooh, okay. I'm liking this. Good choice, Eve. Bit more queen coral, I think. This one's really pale and nice, and oh my goodness, that's an orange. Wow, that's an orange and a half. Whew, okay. Bit of tissue. Tissues are great for adding textures. I'm glad you can sense the distress in my voice. I don't know, just I really struggle to like orange. Like vermilion is the closest thing I have in my palette to orange. And even that is just out of sheer necessity rather than because I wanted to have it. Question, have you tried wrapping foil with watercolor for texture? Do you mean like using foil like I did with the tissue? Ian says, welcome to the orange side of the force. I'm not staying long, promise you that. I'm actually thinking that's actually quite good and I don't want to mess with it. But we'll see after I put some salt on. It's really nice and subtle and pretty, which is unusual for me. I really like the two colors together. It's just shame it can sometimes create orange. Okay, so I am gonna leave it at that. So that's quin, coral, quin, gold. Okay, so let's do some peeling. This is the fun bit. Oh, before I do that, do you want to see how the other paintings that we've already done are looking? There's your quin gold one, there's your terra one. Do I like neon colors? Yep. I used to love neon colors a lot. I feel like the cascade green is missing something now. So when I don't know where to go with a painting, I don't know if I said this already, but I try to rotate it. Get some new views. I'll think about it. I might play with that a little bit later. Yeah, I like neon colors. I used to paint a lot with neon colors, especially when I was doing acrylic painting. This is a quinacridone magenta. It's creating some crazy patterns that are awesome. This is a phthalo turquoise. So yeah, I'm gonna let these dry. Okay, peeling. Here we are. Question, how to lift tape without ripping paper? I don't have an answer to that. However, I do have a trick that I will show you on how to kind of repair that paper or kind of make it less obvious that the paper's being torn up. So this is the result, and I'm just putting it on a plate because there's lots of salt on this and I'm about to scrape it off, and I'm gonna attempt to keep the salt within this, but it never works out. One thing to note when you start using salt is that salt, like cat hair, will get everywhere. Now you can remove the salt just by rubbing, but you always get like bits left. And I found that a palette knife, just gently, very, very gently, because you can like rub the paint off and stuff, scraping the surface with this will get all the salt off. So please let me know if the noise is too much, and I'll mute the mic while I do this. How's that for sound? It's okay? Okay. If it becomes unbearable, tell me and I'll stop. And that has removed all salt. Oh, there's a little bit left. That's it. No more salt. So I'm just going to do this to all of them. I'm going to mute the mic actually because there's quite a few. I'll be back with my voice in a second. Hello, I'm back. So I still got salt everywhere. I'm just gonna, goodness, they really do get everywhere. Okay, so I am gonna go through each one and tell you what color it is as I peel them. Okay, so this one is Bordeaux, and I would say that it reacts pretty well to salt. Now, I haven't met a masking tape that won't pull off the paper. This one at the moment that I'm using though is better than the one I had before. This one is Jackson's Hanover masking tape, but it still does pull some of the paper. I know you can use washi tape, which is better, but then it's not very good at keeping a line. By the way, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, so that's that peeled, and yeah, there is some pulling it up. So what I'm going to do is I have a gold gilding agate stick. This will work with just a, like if you have a polished agate stone at home, because Eve tested that out for me, and that works just as well. Basically just a nice piece of agate, or even if you have like a crystal that's really smooth, it will probably work. But all you have to do is just rub the agate, and it just pushes back all the bits that have been lifted. And the great thing with this is even if you tear a bit of the paper off, if you just rub them, it, you can still see it there if you know it's there, but on first view, on first look, it is far less noticeable. So like this. I don't know if you can tell the difference. What camera mic am I using? I am just using my Logitech C, I want to say 920. What are you feeling ashamed about? Paolo, what are you feeling ashamed about? So that is Bordeaux. It's quite lovely. I'm just going to put the camera on autofocus so I can bring this closer to you. Hello, autofocus, do something. There we go. That is the Bordeaux. I love Bordeaux. It's just such a nice color. So that's one. How are we doing for focus? We good? Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not the first person to come up with this, you know, I'm pretty sure. So this is titanium red oxide, scarlet lake, and indigo. Oh, cool, Dan, you used the same one. How are you finding it? Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you like it, Jacqueline. Sometimes when I do this, like, I'm quite intentional on the color choices for a while, and then I'll just go, nah, just whatever. And this is one of those whatever pieces. You know, it's like brown and orangey, and I would never intentionally pick it, but I'll go, whatever. I'll just whatever color, and quite often it's works out well. So this bit's been torn up, but if I just do this, see, it just goes away. It's brilliant. So I can't give you any tips on how to prevent it from happening, but just using an agate stick or any kind of agate that's nicely polished will make it far less obvious. Yeah, Dan, I feel your pain about the camera setting not being saved, and it's really fiddly to set it up because for about an hour before this live stream, I was freaking out at Eve because I couldn't get the camera to show up at all. Oh, sorry, yeah, so that is the transparent red oxide with scarlet lake and indigo. You see a goldfish in there. Where? Where's the goldfish? Ingvild says you could try kind of pulling the tape back over itself instead of lifting it right up. Yeah, I've tried that. You meaning like this, right? Like that instead of just straight up. I've tried. It's just, I think it's just like drop the luck. And oh, this is Pyro Rubin, by the way. And I just thought, because it's such a potluck with masking tape, I'm going to find a way to fix it when it does happen that is more reliable than it's like trying to win the lottery with this, finding the right tape and the method to pull it up, whereas this will always work. And it doesn't take long at all to do, really. So that is the Pyro Rubin. I quite like this one. It worked really well with the salt. Oh, hey Denise, how are you? I'm so glad you made it. I realized it was really, really early for you, so I didn't think you'd make it, but I'm so glad you're here. I'm sorry it has to be so early. It's just British time, really. This is Phthalo Turquoise. Oh, you see a skull in the Pyro Rubin? Like eyes, nose and mouth? Oh yeah. That is pretty cool. Nice spotting. Oh, you're traveling. So where are you right now? If you can tell us. Don't tell us if you can't. So that is the Phthalo Turquoise. A whale breaching. Okay. Let me try to find the whale. Whale. Oh, like a whale tail here? And that's the sea? Yeah, so this is what I mean by don't freak out until you pull off the tape or, you know, you put it into a mount. It just looks completely different. Like, this looks like a mess. This looks like a painting, right? Or it looks like something more than this. So when you're drawing, you do tend to freak out, like what I do. I go, oh my goodness, they all look awful. But then wait till you peel it off and it's so much better. So this is quinacridone coral, quinacridone rose, and Carbazole violet. Ooh, it's a surprise. Okay, I won't say where you are or anything. Oh, that's amazing that you're traveling as a surprise. Denise says, I've been so inspired by these Otto. Oh, thank you. I've been thinking about wanting to show off these beautiful colors, but it's hard to do an animal painting for all of them. Yeah, I can really imagine. What animal would you paint for Carbazole violet? Yeah. Which I guess is why I'm also drawn to abstract, because I am mainly drawn to the colors. That's what really drives me to make art, is just I just want to see beautiful colors on paper, really. And abstract is a super easy way to make the color of the paint the main character in your paintings. So that is the Queen Coral, was it Queen Coral, Queen Rose, and Carbazole Violet. This one I'm really not sure how it's going to turn out. This is the famous Dan's Blue. I'm running really low on it. Look how much I've got left. This is all I have left. And that's it. And I am like panicking right now Although I am thinking of like making it one like myself, just to see what it's like, because I've been really inspired by Eve and Dan's mulling live streams. Paolo says, oh my god, there is a book called Purple Animals. What kind of animals are in the purple? What animals are purple? There has to be tropical, right? Yeah, I'm interested too. Yes, I have used all the half pounds that I bought from Dan. Because I do so much painting in one go, like, you know, I can paint many paintings in one day. I am a incredibly high volume paint user. So yeah, that's all gone. Yes, that is literally everything. That is everything I have left, Dan. You have no idea how like panicked I am. I'm gonna give it a go. Trying to make it for myself. But if that doesn't turn out well, then I'm coming back to you, Dan. So you better stock up. But I will promise to not buy out like whatever stuff he puts on Etsy. I will just like put an order in, like a private one, so I'm not gonna buy like all the pans again, because I think you guys are very gracious to forgiving me, kind of forgiving me, I think, for the first time. So that is Dan's blue. It's just such a beautiful blue. It just doesn't, no other blue can beat this ultramarine, you know? It's such a beautiful pigment paint that you make. Yes, please send me some more. Right, this is in Dantaran Blue. I was going through a phase of trying out different blues on my palette. I have Ultramarine Blue, Dantaran Blue, Indigo Blue, Sailor Blue, Yellow Shade, Lunar Blue, and then we go to the green shades. I have lots of blues on my palette. I don't know why I have so many blues on my palette. Have I tried Jackson's Blue? But what is this rumour about Jackson's watercolour being a Sennelier dupe? Is that true? Because, right, I got sent a tube of Cass Arts Alizarin Crimson watercolour for free when I put an order in during the sales. And I'm sorry, is it me, or does that lid look very familiar indeed? I was like, and then I looked on the back and it said made in France. Hold on a second. Is it just me, or this is Sennelier, this is Cass Arts? Both have very similar lids. Both made in France. Is it just me? I swatched the two. If I can find it, there we go. Right, so that is Cass Arts Alizarin Crimson. Sorry, I am completely diverting, but like this, I noticed this week and I was like, huh? And this is Sennelier Alizarin Crimson. What do you think? You be the judge. But I'd say that's pretty close. While you do that, I'm just gonna go on cough. So I'll be back. So what do we think? Do we think it's the same? Scenario does look darker, but I'm not sure if that was just me not doing it evenly. I'm just going to adjust the brightness. The weather's very changeable in Scotland. Yeah, I would say the pigmentation is more to do with the way I paint it rather than the paint. It's hard to say, but it is pretty similar. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Right, back to paint. So this is in Downthrown Blue. And all of these, I think pretty much all of this, I used salt. So, and you know, you can really tell that some colors, the salt works really well, and other colors, it doesn't. So that's the in Downthrown Blue. It reacts really well to salt, this one. Next is Indigo. Indigo reacts tremendously to salt. Oh, thank you for mentioning my affiliate links. Yeah, if any of my videos like inspire you to buy art supply, it would be absolutely awesome if you could take just 1 second to use the links I usually have in my descriptions, and because they're all affiliate links to if it's a Jackson link. And basically what that does is it doesn't cost you anything extra at all. Like what happens is Jackson's will give me a 5% commission on the things you buy, which really helps in buying more art supplies for this channel, because you know, like, you know that like all the money you like either give on things like Patreon and Ko-fi and in affiliate links, all that money that YouTuber artist creates and be given just goes straight back into art supplies. You know that, right? Like we just spend all our money on art supplies and nothing else. So if you can use that, like if my Daniel Smith Color Showdown inspired you to try a color, if you are already buying it from Jackson, if you are already going to buy it from Jackson's, then if you could just take 1 second to use any of the links, because it will all take you to Jackson's, then that would be super awesome. And that's the same for people like Denise has Jackson links, Eve has Jackson links, Dan has Jackson links. I'm sorry if I've forgotten anyone else. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps, you know, the YouTube content creators. So this was Indigo. Kind of like a really stormy sea to me. What do you think? Oh, thank you very much for using my link. That would really help. So this one is Mayan Deep Blue. I'm really not sure about this one. Hey, Heather, how are your cats? Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. The Jackson affiliate links are fantastic because it doesn't cost you guys anything at all. The you know, the products are the same price as you would if you guys just went and straight to their website and bought them. It just, Jackson will give us 5% commission. So I think it's really awesome that they do that. Yeah, I really like the indigo one as well, Denise. I agree. Ooh, Lana says 2 tigers chasing. Oh yeah, I see it, I see it. I see the legs and the head and I like that. How's Havoc, Heather? So that is, what was this? Oh, Mayan Deep Blue. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This is what I mean by, like, it looks completely different when you take the border off. Okay, I just have 3 more to go and then I will go away. This is Periline Green. Am I going to be selling these? I don't know about selling these. However, they will be, or the good ones will be sent to my Patreons. So if you sign up to my Patreon, which there's a link, it's the first link down in the description below, and sign up to the $15 a month, then you will get a new abstract painting, like original just for you, every month. So each month I will send you a new painting that I'm proud of, because obviously some of them won't turn out, and I'm actually quite choosy about what I will let out into the wild and what I won't. So you will get one original painting like this through the post to you from me every single month. If you sign up to the $10 a month, then you will also receive one painting on your first month as a thank you for being a Patreon. Do I have a Jackson store in Edinburgh? No. Okay, I know I've been telling you guys how wonderful Edinburgh is. There is one downside as an artist to Edinburgh, and that is that the art shops in Edinburgh leaves much to be desired. We have a Cass Arts in Glasgow, and I would say that is the nearest good, reasonably priced art shop I have. The ones in Edinburgh are always incredibly expensive. They also look down a lot on non-oil painters. They also seem weirdly not knowledgeable. So I once went into one of the shops here and I said, do you have the golden matte medium? And they went, no, I don't know what that is. We have rabbit skin glue. I was like, right, because that's the same thing, is it? Just yeah. So yeah, Edinburgh art shops aren't very good at all. But you know, we have Jackson's and they do free delivery and free next day delivery, and we have Cass Arts, and you know, I buy from them online as well. There's Ken Bromley, so I feel like I don't need to have a good art shop locally. I really wanted to try to support the local art shops because I really do believe in supporting your local businesses. Like I love shopping in my greengrocers because I have a proper greengrocers, and I have an award-winning butcher's not far from me. So I will go on my way to do it, and I tried every single one of the local art shops here, and it was just every single time. And I tried them multiple times, each of them, and they're very expensive, quite rude. I had one just lock the door as I was approaching the art shop. This is Perrine Green, by the way. So yeah, art shops aren't good in Edinburgh. Oh no, don't let that put you off, Dan. And this is my last one. This was an accident, as in the creating of this. Um, this morning I was filling up my palettes and I put one palette with the Perylene Violet fresh one in there and then put another one on top, completely forgetting that it was still wet. So when I lifted it, it was like on, you know, it was like a smudge, big blob of it on the underside of this palette, and I thought rather than waste it, I'll just grab a paintbrush and scribble something down. And that is one of the really good things about, you know, having a good stock of pre-made, pre-taped bits of card, because, you know, when accidents like that happen or you just want to test out a little bit of color, you can create a piece really easily without, you know, worrying about anything else. Oh, that's really good, Janie, that you have a good local shop that price matches anything online. Honestly, the prices of art supplies here in Edinburgh are ridiculous. I'm like, and I would pay that amount, you know, just to support a local business. I'll just buy less of them if they were decent shops. So this is Perylene Violet. And this is the last one. So thank you so much, guys. I'm not going just yet. I will take questions if you have any first. And then I will go and have some dinner, I think. But I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Yeah, the agate burnisher does look like a small hockey stick. I used to play hockey at school, so I was like, oh, it's like a little hockey stick. So I went for this one. They are tons of different shapes. I got this from Crema, and they have so many different shapes. I like this one. It works really well for what I use it for on watercolor, but you can try lots of different ones as well. Oh, thank you, Eve. Thank you very much for being my moderator. Thank you so much. See you later, Paolo. Right, is there any questions? Can I stay longer? Dan, I've got to get my dinner at some point. This is beautiful. I'm going to do some close-ups. I'm going to change you to autofocus, and then you can see some. Is this even working? No, the autofocus is not working. Well, that's good, isn't it? Right, I will manually focus. Please bear with me. That's good. Here we go. I'm so grateful for the mute buttons. Okay, so this is the Bockingford Cold Press 140 pounds or 300 DSM, and it's the same paper that I use for the Daniel Smith Color Showdown. And the reason why they're the same is because this was the scrap pieces of paper. There's like a strip of paper that is 14 centimeters wide that gets created when I create the papers and the template for doing those videos. How are we doing for manual focus? It's so fascinating when you get an abstract painting to just rotate them about and see what you see. Oh yes, I can totally stay on a little bit longer to see an adorable picture of Havoc in the sink, Heather, for sure. Any questions? Which paint color was your favorite so far? This is the one where Lana saw the two tigers. How did I print on the paper? Good question. So with I'm just going to put the focus back to what it was. So with printing on paper, the way to print pretty much waterproof, it's not like 100% waterproof, but it's good enough so you can, do a swatch over it, is you need an Epson printer and you need a specific printer that works with their waterproof ink. I think it's called, no, I can't remember what it's called, you'll have to Google it, but they do have waterproof ink and you need a printer that goes with that. And that's how I print it. Lay helped me pick the right printer. She's amazing with technologies. Question, do you ever do any large ones like these? Oh yeah, this is as small as I get. I love doing like full imperial size sheets, or you like 70 by 50 centimeters are usually my normal size. Yeah, so to do the Daniel Smith Color Showdown series and be able to print that, make a neat thing, I had to buy a new printer, an A3 printer. It's actually really affordable. It's just as affordable as an A4, a good A4 printer, which I was really surprised with. But yeah, it is an investment. But because I wanted to start selling like dot cards and be able to print them and stuff. Oh, do you guys want to see a Holbein dot cards? So this is, hang on, I need to zoom out a bit. There we go. So this, I'm just gonna, so this is a full set Holbein dot card that I made. It is 108 colors and it was just going to be easier to be able to print this. It also looks more professional that way because I want, this is the $50 tier benefit or for my patrons. So if you sign up to the $50 one, you will get this in your post, along with monthly dot cards that are different every month, and monthly paintings, original paintings as well. And then I might consider selling this on Etsy as an individual product as well, but I haven't got that far in the process yet. But yes, this is a Holbein 108 color full dot card sheet that you can have if you sign up to my $50. I also realize how much money that is per month, so don't worry. If you could give me a wee while longer, then I'll see about making this available on Etsy just as a product on its own. So that is how you print onto watercolor. Yes, I will work on trying to make it available for Etsy as well. It's just I can't make that many every month. So I'll see what I can do. I'm just a little bit tight on space because we live in a relatively small flat, and also just in the logistics of being able to create a consistent stock level. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you guys' patience for, me trying to figure out how to do the live stream in terms of the technical way, and also in putting up with my coughs and me having to eat cough sweets as I speak, like I am now. I am so grateful for your patience, and thank you so much for coming to my live stream. I honestly was so worried that nobody except Eve will come. So thank you, and massive thank you to Eve for helping me figure all the technical side out and for being my moderator. I hope this stream was fun. I will try to make this a weekly thing. The only reason why I can't say it is going to be a weekly thing is because of my health. And if the coughing is bad, then, I don't want to put you guys through just me coughing for a couple of hours, because that's not fun, is it? So, yeah. But thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you very soon on live stream again.